Ho ho, buddies, welcome to Borderline Games. I'm Gareth, and this is Raging Loop, episode 3. Last time, we woke up with a hangover at Shiemi's apartment. We left it to find out that it was a student dorm. We met a few of the villagers, I guess you'd call them here. They're very suspicious of you, almost like they suspect that maybe you're something that you're not, or something like that, I don't know. We spoke to a couple of people here. I don't know whether we can actually see on some visual novels. You can see like a breakdown of each character, but I don't know whether you can do that on this game. But basically, we met this woman that you can see in front of us. Shiemi's grandfather, I think it was established. Um, an older woman. I'm not sure what the relation is there, and then a younger man that's maybe around the same age as this woman. I think maybe it was said, who had been working on the fields that we'd seen earlier. There's a bunch of stone monuments around this village, which looks a bit weird, like kind of boulders is what they look like. They don't look like statues or anything, but they seem to worship them or pray to them at least. And also, when they're not in houses, at the very least, they put this weird triangular kind of face mask, even though it's not a mask. It's just kind of like having like a flannel in front of your face. We saw the elder, one of the elders, doing that before, and we thought that's weird. Anyway, let's carry on. So, Shiemi has decided to suddenly pull us out of this conversation for some reason. Thanks, but it's urgent. Let's go, Haruaki-san. I'm never gonna get any of the names right. Sure. It didn't look like I could say no. We went up the nearby stairs to what seemed like a living space. At the end of the creaky hallway, there was a black rotary phone, a rarity in this day and age. This is the only phone in all of Yasumiso, by the way. Seriously? Oh, and not a single mobile service provider works in this area. Really? Wait, who do you want me to call anyway? Road service, insurance, stuff like that. And family if you have to. Oh, that made sense. Hell, I should have been the one to say that. Like I said, it'd be best if you left as soon as possible, so you should use everything you have. Because outsiders aren't welcome here. Yep. And I shouldn't pry any further. Huh? Haruaki-san, I see you catch on quickly. That's good. But you also seem really curious. That's bad. It shows, huh? Of course it does. Honestly, though, you should avoid sticking your nose into things. Because we'll part ways soon anyway. Oh, because we'll part soon anyway. Part ways soon anyway. Exactly. That's kind of sad. Oh? You want my contact info? There's no mobiles. If you're willing to give. Yay! That makes you guy number 53 on the list. Damn, that ain't a letdown. We still went on to exchange our info. I could only hope that being number 53 wasn't as big a problem as it sounded. Anyway, I'd still like to know the reason why me being here is such a big deal. I don't recommend it. But why? Because it'd make me upset. You don't like it here? Yeah, actually, I actually hate it. You seem to get along with the people, though. That's just how it looks. I was a huge problem child, so I feel kind of awkward around the older folk here. And there's tons of things you can't see right away. Oh, but I can't say I actually hate the people. With that, I decided to stop prying about this place any further. I'd back away before she came to hate me. Oh, can I ask one thing, though? Oh, gutsy. Go ahead. Do you like that Takumi Muro guy? What? Me? Like him? Yeah. No way, Takumi Nichan's cool and all, but he's too rugged and over a decade older than me. He's out of my strike zone. Never heard it called a strike zone. And he's always only had eyes for Karui-san. He sure felt like it. They married or something. Nope. Karui-san's a widow. Well, that seemed complicated. That aside, Shiemi had been acting a bit strange. Why had she dragged me away from the tea? It seemed so awkward, too. Assuming she hadn't been jealous of Karui-san and simply didn't want her to charm me, it would mean that she hadn't wanted me to drink the tea. Also, why'd she feed me cup ramen if I could have got food at the dining hall? Very weird. Looking too deep into things was part of my nature, though things were never as bad as I assumed. Something tells me that you're gonna step on something that's right. I went in to call my insurance company, where I found out something. I think that having a very suspicious nature is gonna reap its reward in this village. Apparently this village was hundreds of kilometers away from the nearest service station, meaning I was ineligible for the normal service and had to pay extra. And the extra was no small amount too. It actually went over 100,000 yen. What is 100,000 yen in pounds sterling? Get your guesses in now. 100,000 yen in GBD. GBP. £500. That's a lot. Also, I could have avoided this if I'd taken a more expensive plan. This was all my own fault for not taking the bike salesman's advice. Shit. I said I would consider it and hung up. Then I went back to the dining hall. Huh? Where did everyone go? The customers had changed completely. Tai-san, Kanzo-san, and Takami-san were gone now. They were replaced by a caricature of a juvenile delinquent. The fuck are you? He shouted at me. He seemed like he was trying too hard. He then slammed his bowl and chopsticks on the table and stood up to intimidate me. I'm Haruaki Fuzuishi. Never get my name wrong. Never get my name right. The hell? You want to go? Goodness. Yoshisugu. Yoshisugu. That's it. You don't talk like that to someone you just met. Shut up, hag. She ain't he? The hell's this asshole? Who is it? Haruaki-san. A traveller who crashed his bike. Boy, was that introduction half-assed. Let me introduce them to you. This is, Kaori Aribo and her second son, Yoshisugu Kiro-kun. God damn it. Right, this is Kaori Aribo and her second son, Yoshisugi-kun. Yasunagi-kun's the first. Oh, is that the guy that... Hang on. Which one was that? Huh? Oh, yeah, okay. The one that you introduced me to this morning. The guy that was at the dorm? Is that right? Yasunagi-kun. The guy you introduced me to this morning. Yeah, they may not look at it first, but they're alike, don't you think? The Aribes. What an unpredictable family. Stop talking about bro, you ugly bitch. Call me that all you want. I'm confident in my popularity. And for what I'd seen, the confidence was well justified. Fuck off back to the city, you idiot. Stupid dumbass. Oh no. Haruaki-san, I don't think I can argue with that. What? You're an idiot. Alrighty then. Stupid! You're stupid! Oh, how mean. Join me, Yoshisugu-kun. Stupid, stupid! Huh? What the hell? Don't talk shit about Shieni. You're pretty conflicted, aren't you? Sorry, Shiemi-chan. I was just playing. Wow, one nice reversal after another. It takes quite a man to surprise me. I just don't want to lose to you, that's all. You dating or something? Boy, did I wish. Stop it, Yoshisugu. You're already late. Change and go to school. Shut up. I ain't going. Mumbling something, the kid walked out of the dining hall, leaving his half-full bowl behind. I'm sorry about that. How embarrassing. He's a really good boy deep down, though. Yeah, I can actually see that. Somewhat. By the way, where are Makishima-san and Mura-san? They went to pick up your bike. Oh no, I gotta hurry up after them. Hey, they know where it is. They'll be fine, don't you think? Well, you just have to set it on neutral and push, but I'm not sure they'll know how to do it. And I, of all people, should help. They might go about it the wrong way. If that's all, then you shouldn't bother. Why? Because you're an outsider. I wouldn't suggest spending too much time alone with them. Interesting. They didn't seem that bad to me. That's because they're adults. Don't assume everyone here is as welcoming as me. I'm an exception. You might get along fine, but you might also set them off. This place is already far from normal. Don't risk making it worse. She's right, I say. They insisted you leave it to them, so that's what you should do. You think so too? Yes, the men here are pretty serious about Misu having its own way of doing things. I could somewhat understand that. A visitor should behave like one. Doing anything more would be uncalled for. It was an old-fashioned way of thinking, but this was an old-fashioned kind of place for sure. Where do we wait then? At my place. Expected as much, but it still made me curious. Normally you'd expect we'd sit around and drink some tea right here. So why didn't we? Something wrong with the tea and something wrong with the food. As we waited, Shiemi casually but uncomfortably told me several things. First, I found out that the people here in Yasumizu were a bit on edge right now. The reason for that was the fact that, excluding me, they had 3 whole outsiders here. I'd assumed this myself from what I knew so far, but apparently, yesterday morning a little girl was found straying from the, straying around the Saranaga Rapids. They couldn't even find out her name, let alone who her parents were. So they didn't know how to handle her. For now, one of the inhabitants was looking after her. Like I'd been told, the most superstitious inhabitants, Taisan mostly, saw her as a bad omen. I suggested leaving her to the police, but Shiemi didn't seem to think it was a good idea. It barely made sense to me, but if I were to believe her, things around here were such that not even the cops could do anything. Bum. And apparently the remaining 2 outsiders were a pair of journalists gathering info for a magazine article. Unlike the little girl and I, they'd come here via the normal route. Through Kamifu Jiyoshi? Kamifu Jiyoshi, and therefore weren't considered a bad omen, or whatever. Still, even normal outsiders put the people here on edge. Through this talk, I also got some details about the area itself. Kami Fujiyoshi, okay. Yasumizu was a settlement part of an autonomous region called Fujiyoshi Village, or simply Fujiyoshi. It had also been on the map I'd been shown at the store. Fujiyoshi was split into 2 areas, Yasumizu and Kamafujiyoshi. They were separated by a mountain. Going to Kamafujiyoshi took about an hour by foot, or 20 minutes by car on the winding but paved road. Side note, the school the students went to was in Kamafujiyoshi. These 2 settlements had ties so strong they shared customs and culture. Shiemi said the local seasonal events were quite unconventional. I asked her to elaborate, but all she would say was that Yasumizu had a special meaning to Fujiyoshi. She was making me more suspicious than I wanted to be. This conversation wasn't nearly as exciting as the one we had last night. Well, at least I found out she didn't have a boyfriend right now. Very intriguing. It was nearly noon when Takumi-san came back, ending my waiting game. Side note, the door was fully open the entire time we waited. It was probably Shiomi's way of saying that nothing bad was happening here. Man, bikes sure are heavy, eh? Ain't as heavy as the boar I caught last year. I really didn't expect them to just carry it here. Like, sure, there were 2 of them, but just how much mass did you have to haul a 200-kilogram piece of metal so easily? The unpaved road and river made my sweet ride really damn muddy. How did you bring it up the cliff? Which one is that? Takumi Moro. There's a pulley. We bring stuff up from the bottom every now and then. Kanzo Mikusha. Oh, okay, yeah, so that's the older guy. Takumi. Oh, yeah, now's not the time for that. Hey, you think this thing's alright? Looks pretty damn wet. I'm not sure. I'll check. I'll leave the rest to you, then. Old man, this took longer than I thought it would. It's fine if I do the sharpening tomorrow. Sharpening? I saw them off with a loud thank you. Thank you. Now then. Need help? I'll see what I can do by myself first. The worst part of the repairs was right at the beginning. I wanted to start by washing it, but that old lady, Tai Yamawaki was her full name, got really mad at me. She didn't want any Saranaga mud on the ground here, because it was corrupt or something. Weird. But this plaza was the only place with easy access to a water supply tap, so I did my best and convinced her to let me wash it as close to the edge as possible. Once it was clean, I could start checking what was wrong with it. It actually looked pretty good. Bent in places, sure, but the wash got rid of the bad sound the wheels made. The only problem was that both tyres were flat. And it was a pretty big one. You didn't bring tools? No. Aren't you supposed to whenever you go on a bike trip? I just thought I could call road services and they'd do all the work. So unprepared. I have no excuse, honestly. I was having a moment when I went out. Didn't think things through. Oh? Can I ask what happened? My girlfriend left me. Oh, she's heartbroken? Oh, maybe that's not true. That seems like a lie. It wasn't. In any case, someone to get tools to fix a flat tyre. There might be some in Nosato Mansion. Nosato Mansion? Yep, it's the biggest place in Yasumizu. If you can't find something there, you won't find it anywhere else in the village. I see. Then let's give it a shot. I don't really recommend meeting the guy, but I can't think of any other ideas. Someone important again. Yep, and he's kind of messed up to boot. And so we walked up the hill and arrived at this so-called Nosato Mansion. From what I could tell, it was located at the highest point in the settlement. And like Shiemi said, it was definitely a hell of a building. It had an elegant Western design, which would probably look even better if the place were better maintained. The yard was overgrown, and the building itself was pretty much buried in ivy and small trees. If someone told me it was cursed, I'd instantly believe them. But did people actually live here? I wonder if the intercom works. She pressed a button next to the aged iron gate. Yasumitsu was a quiet place, so I could easily hear the bell ring inside. Should we try again? Let's not. We'll piss him off. Moody guy, huh? Moody. Yeah, that's pretty accurate. I wasn't sure what she meant. but I opted to just wait rather than ask more questions. Soon enough, the person in question walked out of the mansion. What is it? Who are you? He wasn't young, but he didn't look middle-aged either. He certainly looked high-strung, that much was sure. Hello, Nasato-san. It's Sarasawa. I know you, Shiemi Sarasawa. I'm asking the young man with you. Hararaki-san. This is Kiyonosuke Nasato-san. Nasato-san. Kiyonosuke, right? Kiyonosuke. Nasato-san. Kiyonosuke-san. This is Haruko Fusaishi. He got into an accident. That introduction was the briefest one yet. Huh? What? I explained the situation again. He furrowed his brow when I mentioned the Saranaga, in addition to the reason we were here. So, I need repair tools so I can get out of here as soon as possible. Are the tires tubeless? Huh? I have patches, but I think fixing tubeless tires would be a bit too much for an amateur. Though there's no problem if you aren't. Oh, but if the tube burst, you have no choice but to change it. I don't have any spares here, obviously, and I wouldn't give them if I did. Sorry, but I'm not too knowledgeable about that. What a waste of time. I recommend spending however many thousands you need to have repairmen come and pick you up. Ugh. I had no retort to that. Oh, but Nasato-san, I don't think we can have any more outsiders come here right now. Huh? Haven't you been to a proper city? Don't tell me you still believe that nonsense. I'd be fine with it, but I doubt the elders would be. We've had too many visitors these past few days. I don't care what you Yasumiso peasants think. What do you expect me to do, anyway? Fix the tires myself and get oil all over me? Oh, I'd never suggest that. I think that a Fujiyoshi village head should help a troubled visitor. A Fujiyoshi village head. Is that what you are? How about instead of relying on me, only when it's convenient, you just give him a traditional Yasumiso welcome? You know, throw off a cliff. Whoa, what the hell? Come on, you can't say that. Shiemi's tone was slightly off. I could feel a bit of irritation behind her words. I know it might be a bother, but can you at least lend me the tools? What? I'll just borrow them. You won't hear or see me work, I could even pay. Well, I don't mind that much, but I'll want compensation for anything you break. Student or not, I'll have you act proper. Then he pointed me to the garage and walked back to the mansion. Man, I thought we were screwed there. What the hell's a burst tube? Wow, that's so lame. What, you think every biker can fix a bike by just bashing it with a wrench or something? I don't know, but aren't there a lot of girls who are into guys that are good with cars and stuff? Oh, so you're into Nasotoshi? No, he's just acting like he's smart. He's probably never repaired a thing in his life. The guy's not nearly as experienced as he'd have you think. Huh? Then why does he have a bike repair stuff? Or bike repair stuff? The Nasato mansion is basically the Yasumisu branch of the Nasato family. The main mansion is in the Kamafuji Yoshi is in Kamafuji Yoshi. I'm gonna get these names eventually. Whatever they don't need there, they send over here. I heard Kiyonosuke-san was given a car 5 or 6 years ago, but he couldn't drive it at all, so it's been gathering dust ever since. Damn, that was the countryside for you. Couldn't hide your shame if your life depended on it. Anyway, I now knew that the man was the condescending, pretentious type. He still helped me out though, and it was true I didn't know much about bike repairs, so I couldn't really get mad. Anyway, let's just take everything that looks like it could be useful. Like bandits, huh? I'm in. Sure I'm not bothering you? I'd feel down without anyone to talk to. Just keep chatting with me. It helps. The instructions that came with the repair kit told me that my bike's tyres were a rather difficult type to repair. Apparently I had to remove the tyres, but where did I even start with that? Well, as long as I didn't break it, nothing I did could be worse than having to call road service down here, so I just tried taking it apart. But as I removed whatever nuts I could, I made the situation even worse than it was. Yeah, this really wasn't a job for an amateur. You seem to be having a rough time. You can eat this too, Chiemi-chan. Wow, thank you. Well, this looks serious. Man, machines are just no good. Hey, the benefits of the culture are great as long as they don't break. Munch munch. Think he can fix it for sundown? That might be hard. Don't worry though. Worst comes to worst, I'll do something. Munch munch. I really appreciated how she handled the visitors in my stead. Hey, Chiedney. Is it hard to get a bike license? I don't know. I know that scooter licenses are easy. I have one myself. Munch munch. Mid-sized bike licenses are pretty hard to get. You even need to take a course, just like with cars. You like bikes? The hell? What's the matter with you? What's it matter to you? How much was that anyway? You're so cool. 800,000 yen. So what is that? Is that 4 grand, is it? 800,000 yen. Brand new. Holy shit, what the hell? That's way too high. You an idiot or what? How'd you get that much? Part-time jobs and all that. And you got it into an accident. Poor Haraki-san. Munch munch. Chiemi-sensei, if I may ask, what happened to my share of the food? Oh no, I ate it all. Poor, Haruki-san. I didn't want sympathy from the one responsible. As I told her off for not leaving me any food, I somehow removed the tyres. I could only hope I'd be able to fix this up. I'd had this thing for less than a month, but the trouble it was putting me through made it feel somewhat dear to me. I wanted to fire it up again and make it go as fast as it could. Suddenly I heard an engine. It felt like it was mocking me. Hold on, an engine here. I stopped working and turned around to see an unfamiliar van drive into the plaza. Barring the classic-looking piece of junk in Nosato's garage, this was the first time I'd seen a car here. As far as I knew, no one's living here actually owned a running car, so... These are the journalists I told you about. I knew it. Once the van stopped, a lady stepped out of it. Hello! Ah, she's pretty. Hello! I'll be bothering you again today. You're a new face. Hello, my name's Haruaki Bike Crash. Don't be so hard on yourself. Crap, that was no time for an inside joke. I quickly introduced myself properly. I crashed not too far away, so I'm stuck here for the time being. I see. So you're a student. Sorry about the trouble you're going through. Oh, and this is me. The woman gave me her business card. Isaka Mamiya, a freelance writer. Her pen name was Kyoko Housei. Have you ever read Kyoko's Housei's articles? Sorry. Figured. I'm not a big name yet, and the magazines I do get printed in magazines I do get printed in are marketed for housewives and the elderly. That's some pretty intense competition. What do you write anyway? Food reviews. I specialise in unusual dishes. Like the foulest smelling canned food in the world or something? Yep. Well, your usual brand of weirdness doesn't attract much attention these days, so I'm looking for minor culinary oddities local to Japan. Anyway, if you know any weird dishes from your hometown, do tell me. I'd travel the length of Japan to give it a try. A student from the lab I frequented once made pork miso soup, with a mushroom we found on campus. I had mass hallucinations and, No. Flashes of brilliance or poisons, please. As we chatted, I became curious. By the way, weren't there two of you? Yes, I'm here with a partner. He just needs some time to... oh, there he is. I looked at the van and... became completely awestruck. It felt like the van had shed its skin or something. That made no sense, but seriously, how did this fit in there? He was gargantuan. Takumi-san was something, but this man was on the level of a foreign heavyweight wrestler. Though, unlike Takami-san, this man was primarily fat rather than muscle. As he walked out to the driver's seat, the man shook wildly. Yudai Hashimoto-san. Yudai Hashimoto-san. A photographer. He's way more famous than me. He works in all sorts of fields. I imagine you've seen some of his photos without even knowing it. I didn't know much about this photography, but I was definitely convinced. There was a certain kind of authority, or gravity, around him. He wasn't saying a word, and I couldn't tell what he was thinking. Nice to meet you. I'm Hiraki Uzaishi. Was he even alive? Hello. After a strange pause, he slowly bowed like a moving mountain that he was and greeted me with a voice like a titan. He seemed somewhat difficult to interact with. This is your last day here, isn't it? Yes. Oribe-san said she'd let me try her prized Shishinari. I don't know if an outsider can handle it. I have my stomach medicine, I'm sure I'll be fine. And so, Mameya-shi and Hashimoto-shi walked off to the dining hall. Who would have thought that such a beauty was a delicacy hunter? I had to admit that that gap was kind of charming. What did that mean? As intrigued as I was, I couldn't waste any more time. I had to fix my bike already. Whoa! A lot of things had surprised me here in Yasumisu, but nothing as much as this. Hello? No reaction. At first glance, he looked like a poor man too senile to think and perceive properly. You need something from me? I made sure to speak as clearly as possible. It didn't look like he understood. Where did he come from? I figured it was just best to ignore him and resume the repairs, but... Coming! I looked at him again. He was still just standing there like his soul and brain had left his body. A vacant stare, yellowed eyes, half-open mouth covered in saliva. Coming! He spoke again. What's coming? What? His voice was too hoarse to make out. Come again? I placed my hand against my ear. He finally understood what I wanted and prepared to whisper something. I brought my ear closer and... The wolf is coming! The sudden shout caught me completely off guard and made me fall to the ground. He looked down at me, laughing. He clapped and opened his half-toothless mouth into a wide smile. The wolf is coming! The wolf is coming! Bent his body in a weird way, laughing like he was convulsing, turning around, and just left. Huh? Hararaki-san. Oh, I'm too late. Chiemi had joined the journalist and only just came back. Late for what? Gramps over there loves messing around with strangers like that. Wait, that's your grandpa? No, I don't even know his name. He's been in Yasumisu forever, and he's always like that. It felt less like he was just messing around and more like he's a bit touched. Yep, everyone calls him the old man who cried wolf. That's funny. Named after the boy who cried wolf, I assume? Doesn't work as well, though. Wolves, huh? As far as I knew, there were no wild wolves in Japan. There used to be, but after the last sighting in either the Meiji or Showa era, they've been considered extinct here. Modern Japan's image of wolves came from Western fairy tales and the like. It wasn't linked to anything in our culture or life. Even the boy who cried wolf was a Western tale. Did his brand of insanity make him repeat the tale or something? A bit weirded out by the circumstances, I went back to repairing my bike. After a bit more time, I somehow took off the rubber from the tyres and removed the tubes. Both tyres were pierced by some really rusty nails. Fuck, this kind of stuff only happens at the worst of times. Then I applied the patches and filled them with air, using a manual pump. Wonder if those nails were deliberately placed on that path. I wet the tubes. There were no bubbles, meaning no air was leaving them. Things were looking good. Oh, how boring is Shamie? After the high schoolers came back from school and passed by, no one else stopped to talk. Shamie was looking a bit bored now. I think I got it. Seriously? But it all seems so hopeless. Well, sorry. Though I still need to rebuild this. It's going to be a bit of work. A lot of work, actually. And you'll be able to leave then? Yeah, believe me, I know I shouldn't stay here long. I can take a hint. That's great. She didn't seem to care that much. Guess I had no chance with her. Huh? And I think we're going to leave it there for another episode on Borderline Games of Raging Loop. I'll see you next time for some more Raging Loop. And have a good evening. And goodbye. See you later. Bye bye.